Peace, what's up? This is Drell, Quantum Light Consciousness. Today we're going to talk about astral projection and how you can easily do it, okay? I feel like a lot of people are out there trying to astral project. Personally, I know a couple people who are trying to astral project, and it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. As long as you know that you are a projection of your own soul, like as you begin your day, like every single day you walk on the face of the planet, you are astral projecting. If you have ever like envisioned yourself in the future, you know, like say, oh, tomorrow I want to go do this, or maybe one day I'll be like this. That's called astral projecting, because projecting yourself to a future outcome. So to do that, like actually, like with your astral body, it's the same thing, but it's also a completely different story, because you have to take yourself out of your physical suit, your physical biosuit, and then like get your senses back and walk around. It's kind of like being like an infant and learning how to do everything all over again, you know, even though like you're a grown ass adult. Like you have to know like energy and frequency and the education and the intuitiveness that comes along in that venue. You learn quick, because like astral plane is awesome, but it's also like it isn't a game, because like the third dimension is an actual like physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual labyrinth of illusion. And it's also a huge test. It's a huge collegiate college class for souls. Like nobody would be in the third dimension unless they had to be here. Pretty sure nobody wants to wake up and go to work like a slave for a goddamn bank. And if you knew who like controls the bank, and you knew like what type of like correlations and dealings that there are into on the astral plane, you'd be pissed off. But that's totally completely different video. All right. The third dimension is something that you just have to learn how to bypass. All right. It's done with yourself when you are having fun, at best. Like you want to have your inner child like ready to learn. I personally learned when I was like 23 like years old, and you know, it depends like how mature you are, because at that age I was basically like exploring. Like I was like, screw it, you know, everything's a lie, so I'm gonna learn how to do this. So you have to know how intuitive you're willing to go inside your own inner space, like with you still like at a balanced state of compassion for those who are around you, and for those who may be out of balance, you know, and not know to try to scare you for their own fun and for their own intentions, for their own self-purpose. So it's easy to do. It comes down to really the feeling you can get into your body. Like if you can feel yourself like moving your arm when your arm isn't moving, that's it. That's all you need to actually project. Like to pull yourself out of body, that's all you need. If you're willing to practice that for like 10 hours, all right, that you're going to get there. It's easy. Like 10 hours, gamma brainwave beats going through your brain, like you're going to get there. Like there's no doubt you'll get there. First time you do it, first time you get it, it's like wow, like I should have been doing this way long ago. Like because it's so much freedom. Like, and it also helps to like get into like the mind state. Like the first thing that made me realize that astral projection is probably real was the movie Watchmen. Like the dude, the blue guy off of Watchmen, the guy, he's like, he dies in like a chemical explosion, and he comes back by reassembling himself from the physics that he knew from like the college he went to, or from the schooling of you know, molecular science. And he reorganizes himself from like the void, and he comes back and he's like a god, and he's totally able to transport and teleport anywhere he wants on the planet any time. So just little things like that, like stuff you see like on TV, is usually channeled from actual reality, because it's pretty obvious astral projection is real. So when you like build up like the guts to do it, and you know, put all your fears aside, that's when the magic starts to happen. Now, I have a blog post on how to pull yourself out of body. It's simple. Just go see that blog post. I won't, just like go into spending time talking about that here. So like, as long as you know how to either ride a bike or drive a car, you're good. Okay? Now, it's like parking your vessel and then leaving to go explore. All right? It's like you gear up your bike and then you get off in the woods to go explore, right? So your bike is you, or your car is you. You drive to the playground, right? You're a kid or whatever, grown kid. You drive or ride your bike to a playground to go explore. So you riding your bike or driving your car is you lying in bed, doing meditation to prepare your vessel to get up to enough speed to pull yourself out of your vessel and go explore the universe. All right? Now, you also have to have the ability to not allow your bike to be stolen while you are in it. Okay? Now, this is huge, okay? Because a lot of people don't realize they share their body with multidimensional beings, aka like, the higher versions of themselves, and all types of negative doppelgangers and just negative beings who have their own agenda to siphon energy off people and jump in their bodies and screw their lives up. But like, as long as you're aware that these beings exist, you can stop yourself from allowing that to happen. You do not allow your vessel to be hijacked while you're in it. I can't count how many dreams I've had. Like, it's like only something that you can explain with experience. Like, going into a situation where nothing in your current perceived reality can explain what you are going to experience. Okay? So, when stuff happens out in the astral plane, you're like, okay, well, I saw this. How do I correlate that? And you kind of just have to keep a journal and go with the flow on each experience, and you build up your own context of your experiential language, and like your own like compendium of like like a encyclopedia of like definitions of what symbols and experiences mean to you as they happen, and you form your own conceptual reality as you're living your life out on earth. And it's very important because you need to know how to do that stuff. Like, when you die, you're actually projecting. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to break like anybody's like bubble, anybody's belief, but that's what happens. Like, where do you go when you die? It's this huge mystery. We don't know. Nobody can know. Like, no, like, people can know stuff, and they can know it for themselves for sure. You do not need somebody else to know something for yourself. Like, that's huge. That's also another reason that will drive somebody to get into this stuff. So, like, when you get good at it, you can literally park your vessel and travel the universe to figure stuff out while your vessel is literally still awake, conscious, and writing out what you see and what you feel, what you sense, like sitting at a desk, like with a pen in his hand, writing it down on paper. It's called conscious channeling. That's what channeling is. Like, some people, they allow their vessels to be taken over, which is their choice, but the being is usually benevolent. And as the vessel starts speaking, like, they're literally like consciously bringing in that data stream of information. And there's different levels. Astral projection is like channeling when you're aware that you're doing it and you're still up and aware. So after you pull yourself out of your body, all right, say you finally figured out how to pull yourself out of body, or you finally realize how to lucid dream, you can astral project from a lucid dream as well. Okay? It counts to know. Here's the key of getting off planet, all right? After you astral project, like, you can fly around, do whatever you want, but if you want to see the real stuff, all right, you have to have the ability to slingshot yourself, all right, to a star and hit that star with your eyesight alone. All right, simple. Okay? So, as long as you have the ability to look at a star in the sky and zoom towards it like you're looking through a telescope, you're fine. And if that's too high focus, like, as long as you have the ability to walk down a hallway in space and reach the star at the end of that hall of space, like, you're fine. Like, you can literally do that. That was another thing that I tried. It's called the corridor. Dr. Suzanne Lai teaches that, where you basically walk down a corridor in space, and the corridor is literally physics. It's a box nebula. You walk down, and like the box like forms like a hallway, because literally a hallway. It's a corridor. It's a vortex. Every galaxy is a living being. It's an actual realm. Like, you can walk on that plane of existence, and then you could look around and see stuff and travel into those cities, like they're galactic cities, like command centers, like at the star at the center. So like, this is real stuff. Like, it's awesome. So like, you can do that while you're consciously sitting. Like, I do that. Like, I'll do that when I'm sun charging, or when I'm just like chilling, like late night. I'll sit down and basically exit my body and just zoom in wherever I want to go. And I haven't perfected it. Like, it takes a lot of energy, but when you're clear enough, you can do it. And that makes space travel like totally possible. Like, you get good at that, you can do that anywhere. That's what like Einstein used to do. Literally, he said he used to sit at his desk and just travel the universe in his imagination, and then he'd see the physics like in his head holographically, and then he'd say, like, I wonder like what equation that would be sensical to extrapolate the physics by, and then he, do stuff with regards to what he found out in those results. Same with Tesla. He'd sit in his lab and he did all types of crazy stuff. Like, don't even get me started about Tesla. All right, greatest guy to walk the face of the planet in the 19th century. That's about it. Like, you park your vessel, you exit your body when you get enough empathy, and you explore. You could slingshot. You can use a tree for a slingshot, or you can like create a slingshot. I like to just use a tree, just bend a tree, stand on it, and just shoot to the star. You can do that. That works. And like, it's simple. Like, but there is like, once you unlock that portion of your consciousness, you're still going to have to like take the responsibility that comes unlocked with that new portion of your awareness. Because like a lot of beings are going to see like more of your capacity to hold energy, and they're going to try and want to get some of that energy. So here's a benchmark here, just to not allow anyone in your vessel who is not your higher self. Starting off simple. Like, people want to like, say, oh yeah, just let down your shields, and like, oh, just let me come in and just like tell you something cool. Like, nah, it's not even like a question. Like, if someone is not your higher self, do not allow them anywhere near your suit, like your vessel in the beginning. Like, I also like had a lot of dreams where I'm in a car, like people outside the car are trying to hijack the car, and I'm just like pushing them out. Like, it goes with your force. Like that's it. Like, once you hit the space level, like, that's where stuff gets a lot more in depth. Like, you can run around on the planet like in a dream simulation, and it's like cool. It's like whatever. It's like you're dreaming like you're normally sleeping, but like you're doing it. But once you leave the planet, that's when your vessel turns into like a super star drive. Like, literally, like your vessel is a light ship, and it starts to gear up like a space drive. And that's when you get more portions unlocked. Your dream time changes, and you have dreams like you're driving a car, and people in your car are actually aspects of your higher self. Like, your higher self will be like in the driver's seat, and you're in like the other seat, or you're in the back seat and then your higher selves are in the front seat, or like it switches from like modality of like where you're at in your development. So like I know it's a lot to like get used to, like understanding, like continuing to like recursively and exponentially expand your awareness of what you're able to perceive and conceive what's possible to happen in your inner reality. But it's totally plausible to be able to process this stuff if you're totally like aware that your vessel is becoming more conscious, totally self-aware of the universe and their role in it. So I hope you like this video. Take care. Much love to you. If you like a session, I do sessions at quantumlight.net, healing, intuitive coaching, and numerology coming soon. Peace.